Okay, today we are going to discuss some health problems based on the combination of planets. So, let us discuss the Garkatwas of planets regarding health. So, if we take, for example, Sun is right eye, Moon is left eye, and Sun denotes headache and heart related, so heart stroke, diarrhea, loss of appetite, bile. Bile means heat governing planet. Sun is heat governing planet. So heat related health disorders. When do the native get these problems? Generally, if Sun is conjoined with enemy planets, Venus, Saturn, Rahu. If Sun is conjoined with Venus or Saturn or Rahu, the native will have these health problems. Right eye, headache, heart related. So these problems. So for example, Sun and Rahu, let us take. Rahu is even cataract also. So that's why definitely there will be some cataract related problem or colored blindness or squinted eye. So like that we can say. So when it comes to moon enemies are Mercury, Venus, Rahu. So moon is actually right eye. Moon is breast. Moon is here breast. Moon is kapha related. Moon infection. So moon blood impurities here. Moon is here garbha. So uterus and ovary. Moon is ovary here, and uterus and ovary and fetus in the womb. That's why generally there will be abortion. So suppose moon is with Mercury or Venus or Rahu, the native will have left eye related problem, venereal diseases, because Venus and Moon and Venus, Moon, Rahu, these are generally the native will have illicit affairs, so he may get some venereal diseases. And Moon is breast, so breast cancer and tumors in the breast. So Moon denotes, suppose Moon is conjoined with Mercury, Venus, Rahu, all enemies, then definitely so breast related problem, tumors in the breast cancer. So we can see here cold, kapha related problems, infection, blood impurities. So what I am trying to tell you is, if moon is conjoined with Venus or Mercury or Rahu, the native will get these health problems. So our formula is same, 1593711 from moon. Suppose Mercury, Venus, Rahu in 1593711 the native will have these health problems. So when it comes to Mars is here dental, tooth, dental related, and Mars denotes blood, so blood and heart. And so that's why the native may get leukemia, blood cancer, and the native will get blood pressure, BP, and fever and piles. If Mars is conjoined with extra growth governing planet Ketu or private path governing planet Ketu, Mars and Ketu are together, piles, fistula, hemorrhoids, such health disorders the native will get. And Mars is a spine, so spine related problems. Mars is here accidents, cut, injury, burn, surgery, fire accident or any accident, electricity or any accident. So Mars is accident here. So when does the native get these health problems? Who will get these health problems? Whoever has the combination of Mars along with Mercury, Saturn or Rahu. If Mars is conjoined with Mercury or Saturn or Rahu, the native will get these health problems. And when it comes to Mercury, Mercury is a skin, Mercury is a tongue. So tongue related here, speech, stammering, vocal cord disorders. And Mercury is actually throat. So throat, generally tonsils, extra growth. So Mercury, Ketu are together, for example, extra growth. And thyroid is here, Mercury. Thyroid gland is governed by Mercury. And Mercury is forehead, injury. Suppose when the native gets accident, his forehead may be injured. And baldness, because Mercury is forehead. So when there is no hair properly on the forehead, so then the native go baldness. So the native is treated to be bald. And skin related. So skin here, all allergies under skin like leprosy, psoriasis, eczema, leukoderma, skin cancer. So all these health problems come under skin. So Mercury is a skin governing planet. And throat or tongue. So already tonsils are related to throat. Tonsils formed in the throat. And tongue cancer, throat cancer. And shoulder dislocation. Mercury is a shoulder, Mercury is the hands, Mercury fingers. So that's why fingers may be damaged in an accident, or bone fracture in our hand, or shoulders may be dislocated. So when Mercury is conjoined with Mars or Moon or Ketu, so here what I am trying to tell you is, if any planet is conjoined with the enemies, the native will get the planet related health disorders. So suppose Mercury is here conjoined with the enemies Mars, Moon, Ketu. So Mercury health governing here Mercury, whatever organs it will govern. So those organs will be damaged, or those organ related health problem the native will get. So Mercury is here skin and throat, so thyroid, so like this, shoulders, like. And when it comes to Jupiter, Jupiter is actually stomach. Jupiter is the stomach, and Jupiter is nose. Jupiter is breathing and oxygen. So some people, you see, during Corona time, most of the people died because of here oxygen problem, due to oxygen, lack of oxygen problem. And nostrils and adenoids. Adenoids generally formed in the nose. Jupiter is nose. So whatever extra growth is formed in the nose, that is due to Ketu. Ketu is extra growth. And Mercury is flesh. And even Jupiter is also here Mercury, Jupiter, Mercury, flesh, extra growth in the nose. Hernia, bronchitis, liver, jaundice, cholesterol, belly fat, pod-shaped stomach. These are all related to Jupiter. Jupiter is actually stomach, Moon is water in the stomach, Rahu is round shape. So that's why pod-shaped stomach or belly fat the native will get. So generally the native will suffer from obesity. Jupiter is obesity. So if Jupiter is conjoined with Rahu, Moon, Mercury, the native will suffer from obesity, liver problem, or jaundice, or nostril related like adenoids. So like this, Jupiter related problems the native will get if Jupiter is conjoined with enemies Rahu, Moon, Mercury. In a similar way, when it comes to Venus, Venus is
Moon is an enemy of Jupiter.
Yes, Jupiter, Moon, and Mercury, these three, because Jupiter is a pious planet. Okay, and the second one is here. Moon is Vyabhichar, prostitution, and bad habits, generally fickle mindedness. So Guru does not like these qualities. Okay, so Jupiter is enemy due to these qualities. Moreover, there is a story, one mythological story. You see, this moon god abducted the wife of Guru, Devaguru Brahaspati, Tara.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
Tara
Correct.
relation with the moon. So that's why Jupiter, the Guru hates uh, the character of moon, because here moon god abducted the wife of Tara. I mean Jupiter, Tara, Jupiter's wife. So that is a mythological story. And now when it comes to Venus, Venus is venereal diseases. Generally, Venus and Moon Rahu, this combination, Venus and Moon. So the native will have Aved Sambandha, illicit relations. So that's why the native will definitely get venereal diseases and uterus and ovary. Generally, female for the in a female kundali, Venus is conjoined with Moon, Ketu, Sun. So Moon is with its enemies. Venus is with its enemies. Moon, Ketu, Sun. The female native will suffer from uterus-related problems, ovary-related problems. So that's why it leads to infertility. And if it is male, impotency, low sperm count. Venus and Moon, Venus and Sun, generally low sperm count. So Venus, Moon, Venus, Sun, low sperm count, sperm-related problems. And Venus also gives wind-related and diabetic and kidney. For everybody, it may be male or female. If Venus is conjoined with Moon or Ketu or Sun, you check any horoscope from Venus, Moon, Ketu, Sun. Out of these three, one is enough. So suppose Venus is with Moon or Venus is with Ketu or Venus is with Sun, anywhere in 159 3711 combination 212 from Venus, definitely the native will get diabetic, or there may be stones may be formed, or Venus and Ketu are there. Generally, uterus removal for women. And in the similar way, kidney transplantation, Venus, Mars, Ketu, for example, is there. So Venus is kidney, and Mars is operation surgery, and Ketu is stitcher, these stitches. So that's why generally Ketu is here removal of the organ, whatever organ it may be. So Ketu is there, it will remove. Suppose you see Jupiter and Ketu are together, for example, as we discussed earlier, extra growth in the nose, that is adenoids. We have to remove adenoids. So in the similar way, Venus and Ketu, so we have to remove uterus. And Moon and Ketu are together, for example, you see, when the people suffer from breast cancer, breast will be removed. So breast will be removed. So Moon and Ketu, Moon is breast. So cataract and these problems, the native will have to undergo surgery if Sun and Ketu or Moon and Ketu cataract related some problem. So the native will have to undergo surgery. So actually transplantation is here. Sometimes you see even for example, if it is a knee operation, so artificial limbs will be in the place of when there is a replacement, artificial rods will be fixed in the knee parts, or when for example if shoulder bone are dislocated, so artificial bone will be there. The artificial rods, I mean here steel rods will be fixed in the place of bones. So Ketu is here steel rod, which is generally used by surgeons at the time of replacement of certain bones or any parts in our body. So Venus is with Ketu, removal, uterus removal here. Moon plus Ketu, breast removal. So like that. And when it comes to Saturn, Saturn is enemy with Mars, Ketu, Moon, Sun. So if Saturn is conjoined with Mars, Ketu, Moon, Sun, then the native will have gastric related problem and rheumatism, vata related, wind related. So rheumatic fever, rheumatic problem and gastric problem, particularly Saturn Rahu are together, though they are friends. Here, whether all time we consider only enemies, but certain times the same qualities if they have, so then the problem will be also more. Suppose Saturn is gastric planet and Rahu is gastric planet and Saturn is rheumatic planet. So when they are conjoined, they are of kind, windy planets. So when they are together, definitely wind related disorders the native will get. So gastric related or rheumatic pains. And moreover, Rahu is Rahu Saturn are together. So gastric problem, that is due to indigestion. So indigestion problem and organ defects like polio, Saturn Mars and Rahu Mars, and breathing related and asthma related and leg fracture. Asthma is generally Saturn Moon Ketu and leg fracture Saturn Mars Rahu. So if Saturn is conjoined with the enemies, the native will get Saturn related health problems. Saturn governing health problems. Whatever health problem, it will govern. Saturn will govern. And when it comes to Rahu, Rahu is a large intestine. So ear, Rahu is ear, Rahu is cataract. So sun or moon plus Rahu, the native will have cataract problem, blindness, and ear problem, and large intestine. So there may be ulcers in the stomach or in the intestine. So intestine should be sometimes to be removed. And pimples are Rahu, and abortion is moon Rahu. So moon is Garbha and Rahu is Dosha, Garbha Dosha, abortion. And accidents. Rahu is accident, the planet of accident. And Rahu is poison. And suppose moon Rahu are together, the need to take poison if we commit suicide, for example. And rheumatic or gastric problem, Saturn plus Rahu, rheumatic gastric. And pains, Rahu is pains. Rahu is accident. So Rahu is with body governing planet Mars. So body governing planet is Mars. So if Rahu is conjoined with Mars, so the native will get accident. And moreover, if it is fire accident and Mars is here fire and Rahu is here Kala. Kala plus Agni. Mars is fire. Fire means Agni. So Kala Agni. This is the yoga of Kala Agni. So Rahu Mars together. So the native may prone to get fire accident. So anyhow, if Rahu is conjoined with its enemies, Moon, Mars, Sun, then the native will get these health problems. And when it comes to Ketu, Ketu is here nails and hair and nails, plaques and blood clotting and extra growth, piles, fistula, hemorrhoids, tumors. So Ketu is always extra growth. So for example, Mars and Ketu are together. Mars is heat governing planet and Ketu is here private part of the human being. So it may be penis for male and for female it will be vagina. So penis here you see Mars and Ketu, the native will get anus also. Anus is for both male and female, Maladwara. So at Maladwara generally there will be what is it called, piles and fistula, hemorrhoids will be formed or tumors may be formed in the brain or anywhere. For example, tumors is actually also Ketu. Ketu is extra growth. So it may be tumor, it may be pile, or it may be fistula, it may be hemorrhoids. So Ketu is private organ, anus for both male and female, penis and vagina for male penis and vagina for women, and abortion. So generally, If Venus, Moon, Ketu are together, Ketu is with Venus, Moon. If it is a female, then the female native will get abortion. If it is male, the wife of the native will get abortion. And removal, generally, Ketu is removal, immobility, and sickness, arrest. Mars Ketu is here. Mars is blood and heart, and Ketu is here, closing the valves of our heart. So when heart valves are closed, blood function will stop, so that the native will get cardiac arrest. So like that, Ketu is pain, suicidal tendency. So when we are talking about suicidal tendency, if Mercury, Moon, Mars, Sun are afflicted by Rahu, Ketu, the native will commit suicide. So let's check one or two horoscopes so that you will understand. So suicide is actually Mercury, Moon, Mars, Sun. And if Ketu is actually conjoined with Mercury, Venus, Saturn, so then the native will have these health problems. So it may be hair related, hair falling, or nails may be broken, and there will be extra growth like piles, fistula, hemorrhoids. If Ketu is with Mars, and Ketu is with Venus and Moon, Garbhadoshas, abortions. So Ketu is, for example, with only Moon and removal of breast. So like this, based on the combination of planets. And now here we have observed one thing. Mercury, Moon, Mars, Sun are afflicted by Rahu, Ketu. The native may commit suicide. He will have suicidal tendency. So let us see how two examples. You see, this man actually 23rd 7 1975 was born. And first we have to check Rahu Ketu family circle. So all the planets are one side, and what are the planets outside? So here you see Moon, Mars are outside Rahu Ketu family circle. That means all the planets are one side, one or two planets outside. So outside of Rahu Ketu family circle, Moon, Mars are together. Jupiter is the native, of course, so the GV. So when the condition is for committing suicide, Moon, Mars should be outside Rahu Ketu family circle. This is the second one. Moon, Mars is outside. Ketu, the native will commit suicide. So let us see here, for example, Moon is mind, Mercury is here Buddhi, wisdom, Mars is body, and Sun is Atma. Generally, Atma and body should be separated. So that's why if they are under the control of Rahu Ketu, generally we will take wrong decisions, and the suicidal tendency will be developed. And Moon is mind. Mind will be out of control if it is outside Rahu Ketu. Moon is outside Rahu Ketu family circle. Mind will be out of our control. And Mercury is conjoined with Rahu Ketu. So you see here, first Moon. Moon is conjoined with Ketu. And Sun is conjoined with Rahu. Atma is closest here. And you see, Rahu always aspects anti-clockwise, and from there it is aspecting Mercury, 6th house. So Rahu will have 159 aspect and 2610 aspects anti-clockwise. So now Rahu is aspecting Mercury, and where is Mercury actually? Rahu is aspecting Mercury, and already Ketu is aspecting Moon. Mercury Moon completed, and Mars. Mars is already connected to Ketu because Ketu aspects second house anti-clockwise. So here Mars and Moon are under the control of Ketu, and Mercury, Sun are under the control of Rahu. So both Mercury, Moon, Mars, Sun, these four planets are controlled, afflicted by Rahu Ketu. So the native will get suicidal tendency. Generally, they will have, and moreover, when Rahu Ketu family circle outside, Moon and Rahu are together, the native will definitely commit suicide. So we have to check these two. So first one is Moon, Mars, Moon, Mercury, Mars, Sun are afflicted by Rahu, Ketu or not. We have to check. And the second point is Moon, Mars are outside Rahu, Ketu family circle or not. And let's see one more example. This is Sushant Rajput. So you see here, out of Rahu Ketu family circle, Mars is outside and Moon is outside. So definitely we can say possibility of committing suicide. And now, actually, Ketu aspects second house anti-clockwise and sixth house and 10th house. So Ketu is here afflicting which planets? So Ketu is already with Mars and it is aspecting Moon and Mercury and Sun. All four planets, whatever we have discussed, Mercury and Sun and Moon and Mars. These four planets are here afflicted by Rahu, and at the same time, Moon and Mars are outside Rahu Ketu family circle. Moon and Rahu are outside Rahu Ketu family circle. So definitely the native will commit suicide, or he will have psychic problem, and he will have to take treatment from doctors, medication. So this is suicide actually. And now let us see some examples. So suppose you take any planet, whether it is, suppose if it is along with enemy planets, the native will get that planet related health problem. So here Mars is conjoined with Mercury is conjoined with Mars and Ketu. So Mercury is a skin, throat, vocal cord, stammering, thyroid, orthopedic, particularly hand related or shoulder related, so nervous related problems. So Mercury is conjoined with Mars Ketu, the native will get skin diseases, throat infection, vocal cord problems, stammering, thyroid, orthopedic or nervous related, and weakness and legs. So like this we can say. And suppose Mercury is hemmed in between Mars and Saturn, Rahu, Ketu. So the native will get here, the problem will be here big. For example, you see, suppose Mercury is hemmed in between Rahu. Rahu should be in the second house because it will aspect anti-clockwise. And suppose let's take Mars here. So Mars is actually clockwise, it will aspect. So it will aspect Mercury. And Saturn is aspecting Mercury. So you see here, when any planet is hammered in between two enemies, so Mercury is actually need not be enemy to Rahu, Mercury is need not be enemy to Saturn or Mars. But Mercury or whatever planet it may be, if it is hammered in between two enemies, here Mars and Rahu are enemies. So they are fighting. So in between, if anybody is hammered in between two fighting planets, then the planet becomes zero. So its strength will become zero. So that's why Mercury is here what? Actually, Mercury is vocal cord, Mercury is a tongue, Mercury is a skin. So skin cancer and tongue throat cancer. So shoulders may be dislocated, hand fracture. So these things generally happen because Mercury is hammered in between Rahu and Mars. So like this, we have to check whether Mercury is hammered in between enemies or not. So Mercury as enemy here, Mercury is hammered in between two enemies. Here Rahu may not be enemy to Mercury. So but when it comes to Rahu, whether it is friend or enemy, but what are the quality of Rahu? Rahu generally, its quality is only to finish something, to eat something, to kill something. So that's why Rahu is here, it will eat Mercury qualities. Mercury is what? Mercury is here, throat. So there will be throat problem, that is thyroid related or vocal cord related. So next, if retro Saturn is with Mars or exchanged Saturn with the aspect of Mars aspect Sun, the native will get leukoderma. So you will understand the rule, this rule. Leukoderma is white patches on the face and body. So let us take one example so that you will understand better. So here there is a mythological story once that is between, the story is between sun god and his putra Shanishwara. So one day Shanishwara and sun god, sun Bhagavan, so both have some quarrel, some disturbance in between them. So then Saturn, Shani Bhagavan became angry because Saturn is here, you see, Saturn is with Mars. Mars is here anger. Saturn is Shani Bhagavan. So one day Shani Bhagavan, what happened? Became angry. And Saturn is here exchanged with Moon. So there is Parivartan Yoga. So Saturn is in the house of Moon and Moon is in the house of Saturn. So this is called Parivartan Yoga. So this angry Saturn in Parivartana Yoga, it comes to its own house, and at the same time from here it will aspect Sun. So Sun is Surya Bhagavan. So then what will happen? Sun suffered this leukoderma, white patches, this health problem as Shani Drushti on Sun. So this is the story, simple story. Once father and son, Sun and Saturn had a quarrel, and the Saturn looked with anger and caused his father's son to suffer from leukoderma. This is a mythological story. The above chart is an example of that.
Sir,
So
here is a question.
one
I
thing
have
I
a
want
question.
to
I have a question here.
yes,
As you said, Saturn is giving Liquiderma to Sun. Why Saturn is not giving Liquiderma to Mercury or maybe Mars?
no. This is the story. we are talking about a mythological
No, so
story.
I am talking about another story then, because
Yeah.
Mercury being a daughter,
Not
correct?
like that. Not like that. This is
Or
only
Mars may be a younger brother or something like that.
no. Then we have to take only Mercury. Mercury is with enemies or not. This is a story. Based on this story, there is a
Mm-hmm.
possibility of getting this leukoderma. Okay. But
Okay.
at the same time, suppose Mercury is with enemies also, the native may get. So based on this story, also possibility is there. So here only Saturn Mars angry Saturn is aspecting here Sun. So Sun is Surya Bhagavan. Based on this mythological story, we are giving an example. So if anybody has this type of horoscope, then the native will get this leukoderma. But here, one thing, Saturn either, for example, Saturn is here. So Saturn here, so in every horoscope, Saturn and Sun are aspecting each other or conjoined each other. So it doesn't mean that everybody will get this leukoderma. But here you see, for example, Saturn is retro, so then it will aspect the Sun. So like this, if Saturn is retro and aspect Sun, or Saturn is in Parivartana Yoga, it will go to its own house. From there, if it is conjoined with Sun, then only the native will get this leukoderma. Okay. Just because Saturn is aspecting Sun or Sun is aspecting Saturn, nobody will get leukoderma. Here, Saturn should be conjoined with Mars. Mars is here, ego, and Mars is here, anger. And at the same time, this Saturn connecting to Mars, this Saturn should aspect Sun by being retro or by exchange with any other planet. Then only the native will get leukoderma. So, in the similar way, so this is a only mythological story. Saturn is not at all concerned to our skin. Our skin is only related by Mercury only. So, if Mercury is conjoined with any other enemies, with its any enemies, then only the native will have this type of health problem. So here there is no logic, as you said. Suppose if it is moon is aspected by Saturn, and Mercury is aspected by Saturn, Mars is aspected by Saturn. This is Saturn. So will brother will get or will mother will get? So we cannot say like that. Okay. Suppose then we have to predict that as we discussed earlier. I will show you example. Suppose here, for example, moon is here. Moon is mother, Mercury is kin. So here moon and Mercury both are here embedded in between Rahu and Mars, in between two enemies. So here the mother having connection with Mercury, she may get these type of health problems, leukoderma or eczema or whatever skin problem it may be. So mother may have this problem because moon is connected to Mercury. Moon is connected to Mercury. Suppose Sun is here, so father may get leukoderma because Sun and Mercury are connected and both are here hammered in between Rahu and Mars. So like this we have to tell. But that is a different story based on mythology that was written in Brigu Nadi text. That's why we have taken that example. But there is no logic. We cannot say like that. And again, Mercury and Ketu. Actually, Mercury is forehead and Ketu is here. When you see, generally Ketu is hair. When there is head, forehead means not Not only the front part, it will also cover some of the head portion, front portion of the head. So the people generally hair may fall down generally, hair falling. So hair falling only take place when Mars and Ketu are connected in the horoscope. Baldness. Mercury is forehead and Ketu is hair. So as they are enemies, there will be no hair on the forehead, or if there is the hair here because of the enmity between Mercury and Ketu, hair will fall down from the forehead. So in the similar way, Saturn is also there. Saturn is here dust. So generally you see our hair generally will have on our head, in the hair there will be dandruff generally formed. So that is because of Saturn. Saturn is dust in the hair, that is dandruff. And Saturn Mars Ketu or Saturn Mars Rahu, that is rheumatism and a gastric problem. So already we have discussed the Karakatwas. Saturn is actually gastric rheumatic planet, and the Rahu is gastric planet. So if Saturn Rahu are together, rheumatic and gastric problem the native will get. Or Saturn is connected with Mars Ketu, its enemies, then also the native will get rheumatic and gastric problem. And Mars and Saturn, Mars is actually tooth, and Saturn is here decaying. So toothache and tooth is decaying. Decaying means rotting. And color changed, tooth, yellowish or bluish. So Mars and Saturn are together. So it may be rotten and the color will be changed. The color of the tooth will be changed because of Saturn. Saturn is here also dust. You see some people who eats this pan masala and pan parag. So generally their teeth will be decayed. So that is because of Saturn. Saturn is here. Even their teeth will be changed also. Color will be changed. And Mars Rahu is there. The native will have uneven teeth. One teeth is coming forward, protruding, and one tooth is going backward, so forward and backward like that. So uneven and ugly looking. One teeth is big, one teeth is small. So uneven teeth and ugly looking. And moreover, Rahu is actually head. So the head is open like this. That is snake head. So it is open the mouth, the Rahu's mouth. So that means there is a hole. The mouth is just like a hole. That's why hole in that tooth. Mars is a tooth and Rahu is hole. Mars is a tooth and Rahu is cavity. Cavities in the tooth. And double teeth, because Rahu is multi. Mars and Rahu, there will be double teeth. So whoever has Mars and Rahu generally may have double teeth, or there will be cavities. You can predict that the native will have Mars and Rahu are connected in his horoscope. Dental problem do you have? You can ask. You can predict dental related health problems. And Mars is enemy to Mercury, Rahu and Saturn. All here attacking. So all the planets. So the tooth will be rotten, holes in the teeth and the protruded teeth. Rahu is protruding. So they are forwarding and forward angle. So the front teeth will be forward angle. So whenever they laugh, first we will see their teeth. And gaps in between teeth also. So we can see some gaps in the teeth. So that is also Rahu. The gap is Rahu. Crack, that is just like crack. And cavities in the tooth, these are all because of Mars conjoined with Mercury, Saturn, Moon, Ketu. Jupiter is the native and Saturn is here. Saturn, Moon, Ketu is breathing related. Oxygen. Generally, Jupiter is oxygen and Saturn is karma of breathing. Jupiter and Saturn. And moon and Ketu kapha related, so breathing related, asthma, asthmatic. And Jupiter, Mars, Ketu, hemorrhoids, piles, fistula, cardiac arrest, dental related, spine related. So Mars is dental, that is we have discussed, and Mars is spine, and Mars is blood and heart. So Ketu is closing the valves of heart. Ketu generally closer, it closes the valves of heart so that blood cannot function. So the native will get heart attack, cardiac arrest. So Jupiter is the native here. Only Jupiter is the native. Jupiter is with Mars Ketu, the native. The native will get this problem. Suppose instead of Jupiter you put Venus, the wife will have heart problem. You put Sun, father will have heart problem. You put Mars is already there. Mercury, for example. So youngest sibling, and Saturn is their elder brother. So elder brother will have heart attack like that. So based on other planets also we can predict who will have these problems, father or mother, like that. And Sun, Moon, Venus or Saturn or Rahu. So Sun is right eye and Moon is left eye. So Venus is enemy to Sun and Saturn is enemy to Sun and Moon, and Rahu is enemy to Sun and Moon. So that's why if Sun or Moon connected to Venus, Saturn or Rahu, the native will have eye problem. Which eye? If it is Sun, right eye. If it is Moon, left eye. And Sun, Moon, Rahu, Ketu, weak eyesight. Rahu is generally cataract, color blindness, and squinted eye, uneven eye. And Venus and Moon. So Venus, Sun, Venus is sperm, Sun is ear, heat. So sperm will be burned by the heat of Sun. So the native will suffer from low sperm count. And Venus and Moon, Venus is sperm and Moon is water. So when there is more water, the native will suffer from same low sperm count. And for female, Venus is uterus, and for male or female, Venus is kidney and diabetic. So pancreas, diabetic. So Venus is here, kidney and pancreas. Pancreas is an endocrine gland. So it secretes insulin. So low segregation of insulin leads to diabetes. So kidney and diabetic problem are caused by Venus when it is conjoined with enemies. So in the similar way, Venus, Moon, Ketu, diabetic here. So Venus is with enemies, Sun, Moon, and Ketu. These are all enemies. Diabetic, kidney, uterus, urinary infection, bladder trouble, abortion. Venus, Moon, Rahu, Venus, Moon, Ketu, natural abortion. And Moon, Mars, Rahu, Moon, Mars, Ketu, abortion by surgery or operation. So that is the difference. So Moon, Rahu, Moon, Ketu, natural abortion. Mars is there, then there will be surgery. So here, Moon, Mars means here we should have Venus plus Moon. So even only Moon also gives the same thing. Moon, Mars, Rahu, Moon, Mars, Ketu, natural abortion. Venus is there with Mars, Rahu, with Mars, Ketu also the same thing, abortion. And if four are connected together, definitely there will be four abortion by force of brother or family members. So the female native will have to undergo this abortion operation. And Jupiter is the native, Sun is here heart, and Mars is blood, and Ketu is obstruction in the function of in the flow of blood. So that's why the native will get heart attack. And only Mars also gives blood pressure. Jupiter is the native, Mars is blood. So Jupiter and Mars, generally the native will have blood pressure. And Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Rahu or Saturn. Here or Mercury, Mars is embedded in between Mercury, Rahu, blood at heart attack, polluted blood poisoning, blood cancer, spinal cord surgery, major health problem. Suppose let us discuss in the horoscope. Suppose Mars is embedded in between Rahu and Mercury. So Mars is embedded in between Rahu and Mercury or Rahu and Saturn. For Mars, Rahu is enemy, Mercury is enemy. For Mars, Saturn is enemy and Rahu is enemy. So when Mars is embedded in between Rahu, Mercury or Rahu, Saturn, generally what happens? Mars is body. So first accident or accidental death. And second one is Mars is blood. So heart attack and leukemia. So the health problem will be very severe health problem. So that's why leukemia, blood cancer. And Mars is here actually blood and dental. So generally dental surgery, the native will have to undergo dental surgery. So like this, if Mars is hammered in between Rahu and Mercury, Rahu and Saturn, so the native will get serious health problem related to Mars. So Mars is here, blood, heart, spine. So this dental, and even Mars is, if it is connected to Ketu, then it will be piles. So in the similar way, Mars Ketu generally hemorrhoids. Mars is here heat downing planet and Ketu is here private organ. So that is anus. So anus there will be extra growth. So that should be removed. Generally piles will be removed. Ketu is removal. So Mars is heat. So that's why Mars Ketu, piles, fistula, hemorrhoids, dental related, spine related, and cardiac arrest. And in the similar way, yeah, we are discussing here blood poisoning, blood cancer, spinal cord surgery, major. So if Mars is hammered in between Rahu and Mercury or Saturn. And Jupiter, Moon, Rahu. Jupiter is actually stomach, belly, and moreover, Jupiter itself fat also. And Moon is here water in the stomach, and Rahu is round shape. That's why belly fat or pot shaped belly. Jupiter is belly, Moon is water in the stomach, Rahu is fake. And Saturn, Mars, Venus, Rahu, Saturn, Mars, Venus, Ketu. Heart related problem because Sun is heart, Mars is blood. So Venus, Rahu, Ketu, they are enemy to Sun. And Jupiter, Mars, Rahu, smallpox. And Mars is spinal cord disorders, as Mars is with enemies Rahu, Mercury, and Saturn. And Moon is here kapha related, pneumonia. So Moon is with Venus, Rahu, Maha Yoga. So the native may take poison if he commits suicide. So when it comes to suicide, all four planets, Moon, Mercury, Mars, Sun should be affected by Rahu, Ketu. And Moon and Mars should be outside Rahu Ketu family circle, and that Moon is connected to Rahu, then we can say that is here poison. The native may die poison by taking poison. He may commit suicide. Or some people, this Visha Yoga, Venus, Moon, Venus, Rahu, they always drink alcohol so that they will die by drinking alcohol. And now Rahu is actually our head, so migraine, head injuries. And Rahu is intestinal disorders because Rahu is large intestine. So Rahu is with enemy Sun, Moon, Saturn. So then there will be disorders. And Moon Rahu is mental hallucination. Mind will be hallucinated and the mind will be illusion. So the native will not be able to take any positive decisions. He may be under depression and kapha related and water accident, moon Rahu. And if he commits suicide, moon Rahu is there in the horoscope, he will commit suicide by jumping into river or a well or in the samudra, or he may commit suicide. And there may be abortion also. Moon Rahu, if it is a female horoscope, possibility of abortion. And Rahu Saturn, Rahu is actually large intestine. So Rahu is with Saturn, so large intestinal problems. Mars is also there. So gastric, rheumatic, and oral sores and ulcers like that. Saturn, Mars, Ketu, rheumatic problem and gastric. Saturn is rheumatic and gastric. Saturn is enemy with the enemies Mars and Ketu. Saturn, Moon, Ketu, breathing and lungs related problem. And accidents, accidental death, heart, blood cancer. Already we have discussed it. Mars is hammered in between Rahu and Saturn, Rahu and Mars. And Venus, Sun, Moon. So this is actually uterus related problem. Venus is uterus, Sun, Moon, enemies. And Jupiter, Sun and Mars, that is heart related, heart palpitation. So now we can also identify cancers. Suppose Moon is there. So Moon is actually breast cancer. Mercury is actually here. Mercury is a skin and throat related cancer. And Venus is uterus cancer and pancreas related, and Mars is blood cancer, leukemia. Mercury is mouth cancer, tongue related. So let us take here let us see. Venus is here hammered in between Rahu and Mars, two enemies. When Venus is hammered in between two enemies, then the female native will get Venus is uterus. So Venus is pancreatic. So pancreatic cancer or the pancreas related cancer. So in the similar way, uterus cancer. So uterus will be removed. So if the native gets uterus cancer. Suppose here Mercury is there. Mercury is a skin. Mercury is skin, tongue cancer, throat cancer, thyroid related cancer. And Mars is there, leukemia. Already we have discussed. And Moon is there. Moon is breast cancer. So like this, if any planet is hammered in between two enemies, then the planet related health, major health problems the native will get. So Moon is there, Moon, which cancer? Moon is here, breast cancer. So like this we can discuss. We can identify the major health problem. And let me take 5 minutes more, 10 minutes. So once there is a mythological story you see here, Saturn and Yama. Shani Bhagavan and his brother Yama, both are brothers. Saturn is Shanishwara and Mars is Yama. When both were playing, due to conflict, Saturn kicks Mars. So when they were playing, so Saturn became angry and he kicked his brother Mars. So Yama had to limp. So he went by limping. With this example in the mind, in this chart, Saturn and Venus are posited in the house of Mars, and Aries Mars is posited in the house of Venus. So there is an interchange between Venus and Mars. With this, it amounts that Mars goes to the place where Saturn is posited. Both will have quarrels so that the native will lose control over his legs. So let us see here. Venus is in the house of Mars and Mars is in the house of Venus. So there is Parivartana Yoga. So when we are discussing this Saturn and Mars, they are always aspecting each other. That means nobody will get a deformed feet. Okay. So why when it happens, when there is Parivartana Yoga, now Mars goes to its own house. So Mars is actually enemy to Saturn. So then there will be quarrel and Saturn kicks his brother Mars. So his brother became here lame. So in the similar way here also, based on the mythological story, so this native will, both legs will be crippled, bended.
So, sir, the legs will be crippled for the elder brother or younger brother?
No. This native. You. That is also you are asking the same question where you asked them. This is a story only. Story based
So,
combination.
can I say that? Can I
The
say that
native.
if my younger brother will go and start staying with my elder brother, I will have a crippled leg?
No, not like that. Not like that. So only this is here. Saturn is here elder, and Mars is here younger. They are brothers. Okay. So they are
No,
two
I am
brothers.
asking from an activation perspective. If I say, hypothetically, if I say the Mars is going and start staying with Saturn.
That is not like that. So Mars is with, for example, Rahu and Saturn. There is a possibility of deformed legs or whatever it may be, deformed body of the brother. Here Mars is siblings. Mars is here younger brother. Suppose Mercury is connected like this, then Mercury is youngest, and like that we can say. And Mars is here siblings, whoever it may be, younger or elder, whoever it may be. One of the brothers may be here deformed leg. So we have to check only with Saturn, Rahu, Mars combination. When we are talking about our family members, but this is only story. That's why, based on the story, the native will get here deformed foot, deformed leg. So in this horoscope, this is blood cancer actually, and Mars is retro, so we have kept Mars here, and Mars is hammered in between Rahu, so Rahu and Mercury. So here Mercury is actually aspecting the directional aspect. So here in between Rahu and Mercury, Mars is hammered in between Rahu and Mercury, two enemies. That's why the native died of blood cancer, leukemia. So she is actually suffering from blood cancer, and her chest also removed recently. And moon is here actually chest, breast. And Mars direction wise, it is aspecting second house of moon, and Ketu is already there. So Ketu is in the second house, and in the 12th house, Saturn is aspecting the 12th house of moon. So here it means moon is hammered in between Saturn and Mars. Saturn and Mars are enemies. Direction wise, Rahu is also in this house. So in between Rahu and Mars, Saturn and Mars, so moon is hammered. So moon is here breast. So that's why she got breast cancer. So definitely whatever organ governing planet there. Oh, so if it is breast governing planet, that is moon, and moon is breast governing planet, and Mars is here blood governing planet. So leukemia. So Mercury, skin, throat, and skin cancer. So if it is hammered in between any two planets, like that. Okay, we will also discuss some more charts, but only theory we have discussed today, right?
Okay,
So
sir.
when we are discussing our siblings, with our sibling, whoever it may be, that planet we have to pick up, and at the same time, if it is skin, you check with Mercury. If it is blood, you check with Mars. So like that only. These are only whatever charts I have shown. They are based on mythological story. The native only will have the problem, not his brothers. Okay. Good day.
Okay, sir.